Night Theatre. His Honour, Henry Cecil Leon, MC, the County Court Judge, died in May this year. As Henry Cecil, the author, he wrote many successful novels, most of which he dramatised as radio plays. The last of these was broadcast exactly a year ago, and this is a chance to hear it again as a tribute to his memory.
I, James Hereford, swear by Almighty God that I will well and truly serve our Sovereign Lady Queen Elizabeth II in the office of Justice of Her Majesty's High Court of Justice, and I will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of this realm, without fear or favour, affection or ill will.
We present No Fear or Favour, a radio play by Henry Cecil, based by the author on his book of the same name, with Peter Sallis, Sarah Bedell, Peter Howell, and Paul Daneman as Mr. Justice Hereford.
Congratulations, Hereford.
Thank you, Lord Chancellor.
I'm sorry your wife didn't live to see you elevated. How long is it since you lost her?
3 years tomorrow. She'd have been 35.
You've just the one child, I believe?
Yes, Angela. She's 10. Do you know, Lord Chancellor, in a way I treat her almost like a second wife. I actually asked her whether I should take this job.
I'm glad she approved.
She didn't. She said I was too young. But I argued her out of it.
Good for you. I hope you'll enjoy your work. The most difficult part will be sentencing. I think you should be good at it. Not too sentimental, but not too severe. I wonder how you deal with that girl when they catch her.
The blackmailer, you mean? Yes, when you say when they catch her, I say if they catch her. Most people are too frightened to go to the police. It's all very well to be called Mr. A or Mr. B. But somehow or other the word gets round.
Anyway, it's a hateful crime. Oddly enough, Alan Herbert used to think that burglary was worse. Do you remember he said if there weren't something black, there'd be nothing to be blackmailed for.
I wonder who our next victim will be.
Excuse me?
Yes?
You live near Haywards Heath, don't you?
I beg your pardon?
I'm sure I saw you outside Farnbridge Church a few Sundays ago.
Oh, quite possibly, but you don't live there. I'm sure I'd have noticed you.
I think your wife did see me, as a matter of fact, and I don't think she liked what she saw.
Can you blame her? You're much too attractive.
That's funny. I thought the same of you.
Oh, not really.
Why not? You're a most attractive man. Has no one ever told you?
That's the greatest compliment I've been paid for years. Do you work round here?
At the moment. I live in Bloomsbury.
Oh. I suppose you wouldn't care to lunch with me tomorrow?
Oh, I'd love to. But, what about your wife?
What the eye sees not, you know. I say, this really is fantastic. You can't be a day more than 24.
I'm 27. And you're 56.
Good gracious. You're dead right.
I must say, I was a bit amazed.
How do you mean?
When I found out how old you were.
When you found out?
Yes. When I'm interested in anybody, I like to know as much about them as possible.
Oh, then it wasn't an accident you were here.
Good gracious, no. I've been chasing you.
Chasing me, an old man of 56.
That's right. What's it feel like?
Oh, better and better. But how did you find out my age?
I went to Somerset House, Mr. Slaughter.
What's that?
Somerset House.
That's an odd thing to do.
It is rather. Then the whole thing's rather odd, isn't it? Do you usually pick up girls in the city?
Oh, you picked me up.
That's odder still. Have you ever in your life before been picked up by a respectable girl?
No, I haven't. Or by any other girl either.
Not in the city, perhaps.
What did you say?
I think you heard, Mr. Slaughter. Or may I call you Henry? I'm Margaret Vane. You may call me Maggie, if you like.
I really must be going. I'm afraid, after all, I shan't be able to manage that lunch tomorrow. Goodbye. I have an appointment.
Well, I'm sorry. You'll have to be late for it.
Are you threatening me?
Yes.
I shall go to the police.
There's a police station very close, the other side of your office, as a matter of fact. I'll wait for you here.
What do you want? You've been to Somerset House, you've been to our village, and I don't know what else you know about me. This is all part of a plan.
Quite right, Mr. Slaughter. Shall I tell you about it?
I'm not easily frightened.
You're as frightened as hell. I think I'd sit down if I were you.
Oh, well.
What I like about the way you read the lessons is that you don't look down at the Bible the whole time. You look at the congregation.
Would you mind coming to the point?
You're one of the church wardens at Farnbridge, aren't you?
What's that got to do with it?
If you hadn't been a pillar of the church and a Lloyd's underwriter, I don't suppose my people would have bothered about you.
Your people?
I come from an old-fashioned group which calls itself the Institute for Cleaner Morals.
What on earth is that?
It's a group of men and women who are greatly disturbed by the present moral laxity among all sections of the population. Not just among teenagers, but among church wardens, too.
All right. I shouldn't have invited you out to lunch. So what?
So nothing. If that's all there was to it, my people wouldn't have worried about you. They're quite broad-minded, you know.
Then what do they want of me?
They think it's a bad thing for a person to preach one thing and practice another.
I don't preach.
Not perhaps actually preach, but your duties as a church warden are hardly consistent with visits to sleazy striptease clubs and picking up prostitutes.
You've been following me.
Of course. Everywhere.
You've made a mistake. You've mixed me up with someone else. That could easily happen.
Up to and promise to behave in the future.
I see. So if I don't subscribe, you will tell my wife and the vicar what you've found out about me.
I never said any such thing. I merely told you what you ought to do.
What sort of subscription would be acceptable?
I think you ought to give something that hurts so that you can really feel you're redeeming your lost soul. What do you say to £2,000 down? And £500 a year? That might hurt a little.
Oh, really? £2,000 down and £500 a year? This is monstrous. I shall go to the police.
That's not a bad idea. Then they can break the news to your wife. By the way, tell the police that they can have a complete recording of this interview. I keep a little thing in my handbag. It prevents mistakes and misunderstandings afterwards.
Wait a moment. Perhaps I was too hasty. Please.
Well, what would you like to do, Henry?
I would like to subscribe to your institute. You'd like it in cash, I suppose?
£2,000 in cash? What do you think we are? Bank robbers?
You mean I can send a cheque?
Of course you can. Do you really think I want £2,000 in dirty old £1 notes? If you'd care to subscribe, here's the name and address. All cheques should be made out to the Institute and not to an individual. So glad to have met you at last, Mr. Slaughter. Goodbye.
Yes, sir?
Please ask Inspector Drew to come and see Superintendent Brookside at once.
Very good, sir.
Come in. Come and sit down, Drew. I want to have a word with you about these blackmail cases. There must be a huge organisation at work, masterminded by a villain I'd give a great deal to catch. What's the score at the moment?
Well, 18 cases have been reported, sir, but only 3 people have been caught.
And each time they've used these curious names. Association for the Protection of the Public from Fraud, Association for the Suppression of Slander, and what was the other one?
The Bankers Protection Association, sir.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious there's one person or one organisation behind it all. If we can catch the girl, she might lead us to the centre.
Yeah, well, it won't be all that easy to get her.
But if we know half a dozen cases with which she's been concerned, she must be doing it on a very wide scale, because only a very small proportion of the people blackmailed dare to come to us. I've said I didn't want to be disturbed. Oh? Oh, very well, put him on. Yes, Superintendent Brookside speaking. Yes? Where? Quick, take this down, Drew. The Elms, Mulberry Hill, SE23, John Hardcastle. Thank you very much, Sergeant. I'll go there immediately with Inspector Drew. And have a couple of CID men outside the house in case I want them. Yeah, that was the station sergeant of Mulberry Hill. Mr. Hardcastle has been blackmailed at the moment by a girl. He hadn't time to give any details, but he said he'd leave the front door open. Come on, let's get going.
You did say you like your coffee black.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Hardcastle.
Now, tell me, Miss Vane, why did you come here? My wife might have been in.
I know she isn't. She's away for the weekend. Someone else is here, though. Someone of whom my institute very much disapproves.
And you'll tell my wife about her unless I subscribe to the institute?
Oh, that's entirely a matter for my principal.
Suppose I told you my wife knows all about it and is herself having an affair of her very own this very weekend.
It wouldn't be true. Your wife has gone to her sister.
Her sister might be just a cover.
I expect you've got your sister-in-law's telephone number. If you haven't, I have. If you ring her, you'll find your wife is there.
You take a lot of trouble, don't you?
Cleaner morals are worth taking trouble about.
Just a moment. I thought I heard something.
I didn't. I suppose when you're having an affair, you get a bit edgy.
How right you are. Sounds as though you know from personal experience.
There's no need to be offensive, Mr. Hardcastle.
I'm not so sure about that. You calmly walk into my house and say or imply that if I don't subscribe £500 a year to your institute, you'll tell my wife I've been having an affair with Eileen Abbott.
I never mentioned Eileen Abbott or £500.
But that's what you meant. Would £500 a year be thought a satisfactory subscription, do you think?
I should say it's quite generous.
And if I agree to subscribe, I can rely on the institute not telling my wife about Eileen?
I can only tell you that I report everything you've said to my principal.
May I ask the name of your principal?
Certainly. As a matter of fact, it's Jones.
I suppose you couldn't give me any idea where I can contact Mr. Jones? After all, you're only an agent, and if I'm to subscribe £500, it's reasonable that I should meet your principal.
Certainly you shall. I will take you to him myself.
Really?
Yes, really.
Then perhaps we could all go together. I am Superintendent Brookside, and this is Inspector Drew.
Oh, dear. This is rather awkward. Mr. Jones doesn't like police officers. I took one to him a few months ago, and he was quite upset.
What is your full name, please?
Why do you ask?
Because I'm proposing to arrest you and charge you with blackmail.
Oh, I shouldn't. Really, I shouldn't.
You'll now kindly come with me to the police station, and I must warn you that anything you say may be taken down and given in evidence.
All right, let's get going. I assume you have a car?
This way, please. Inspector, would you take a full statement from Mr. Hardcastle, please?
Very good, sir.
Please, sit down, Inspector.
Oh, thank you, sir. Well, I should like to congratulate you on what you've done.
Oh.
It's been a tremendous help to us. The one thing that puzzles me is this. I assume the information the girl had is quite wrong, and that's why you weren't frightened to get in touch with us.
On the contrary, Inspector, the information the girl had was absolutely right. She was on a winner. It was only when I realized what her game was that I also realized that I wasn't going to stand for it. So I made an excuse to leave the room and said a few words to my local police station. I must say you fellows can act quickly.
Well, I do congratulate you, sir. Now, perhaps if you'd make a full statement for me.
Oh, yes, of course.
If you don't mind, we'll start with your full name and address and age.
Come in, Drew.
Well, that was a bit of luck, sir. I've got Hardcastle's statement all done. I suppose the girl's safely locked up.
No, she's gone home.
Gone home?
Yes, I think I may have been a bit hasty.
Hasty, sir? But you had ample evidence on which to charge her. It was open and shut.
Perhaps you'll leave me to judge what is open and what is shut.
Oh, I see, sir. You hope she'll lead you on to somebody important. Have you put a tail on her?
No, I have simply let her go. As I said, I think I acted too hastily.
Well, I don't understand it, sir.
There are a lot of things we don't understand about this case, Drew. It's going to be a long job, but we'll sort it out in the end. Don't you worry.
Good afternoon, my lord.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my lord.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Frank.
Oh, good afternoon, sir.
I'd like to get started promptly. Is everyone ready?
Almost, sir. Mr. Stokes is still in the robing room. He'll be ready by the time you are. Sir. And, what'll you give this fellow? 20 years?
He's not been convicted yet.
Well, you see that he is, sir.
Nearly everything depends on the evidence of one witness. Quite a tall order to get a conviction for a vast conspiracy on the word of one person.
But you do think he's guilty, don't you, sir?
It's Angela's birthday tomorrow. I want you to get me some tickets for a matinee. I'm told that children of her age like that play on at the Savoy. Get me 2 stalls, will you?
Certainly, sir.
I don't like starting a big case on Friday afternoon. Over the weekend, the jury may come to provisional conclusions before they've heard the whole of the evidence.
Couldn't you get through this in an afternoon, sir?
Impossible.
Not even if you kept quiet? Do you remember when you started as a judge, you had a little card with "Shut Up" in front of you? I came across it the other day.
So I'm surprised you didn't put it on my desk.
I would have, only it was illegible. Do you know what I'd do, sir?
What?
I'd make some judges listen to tape recordings of their summings up.
I've listened to one of mine, as a matter of fact.
What did you think of it?
Rotten. But I think it was fair.
I wonder if the prisoner thought so.
I bet he did. He was acquitted.
Right, sir. I think you can go in now. And don't forget what I said about this chap.
Whatever he's done, he's got to have a fair trial.
Oh, absolutely, sir. Just so long as he's convicted.
Silence in court. Members of the jury, are you all sworn?
We are.
Members of the jury, the prisoner Clifton Ledbury is charged with one offence, namely conspiring between the 1st of January 1970 and the 1st of January 1974 with Albert Jones, Cyril Nottingham and other persons unknown to blackmail Henry Slaughter, John Hardcastle and other persons unknown. To that charge he has pleaded not guilty, and it is for you to say, having heard the evidence, whether he be guilty or no.
My lord.
Yes, what is it, Mr. Foreman?
Might the jury have some paper on which to make notes, please, my lord?
Certainly. See to it, please. You, Mr.
Very good, my lord.
Thank you, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Stokes.
May I please your lordship, members of the jury, I appear in this case for the Crown, and the defendant has elected to defend himself.
This is a very serious charge. You're quite sure, Mr. Ledbury, that you are capable of conducting your own case?
I don't know a great deal about the law, my lord, but one thing I do know. You only need a lawyer's help if you're guilty. I am not.
Very well, then. You may sit down.
Ah, thank you, my lord.
Members of the jury, you have heard that this is a case of blackmail. And I may tell you that a worse case of blackmail has never before been tried in these courts. Members of the jury, the prosecution say that the accused is the head of a vast organization. All over the country, there are men and women who collect information about other people. Information which can be used to blackmail them. Anyone who knows something to the detriment of somebody else can go to a collector and sell it. Now, there are at least 100 of these collectors. And who is responsible for setting them up? The accused. Now, you heard the names of Jones and Nottingham mentioned in the indictment. Jones was in charge of the collecting side. Nottingham was in charge of the blackmailers. Just think, members of the jury. Anyone who knew, for example, that a man was deceiving his wife could go to one of the accused's henchmen and sell the story for anything from the price of an expensive dinner to that of a colour television set. The result was that pretty well no one in the country was safe. Members of the jury, is there not at least one of you who might be prepared to pay prevent certain information reaching someone you know?
Mr. Stokes, don't overdo it. We are all sinners, but I can't think of any information which could be used to blackmail me. And I expect the members of the jury are in the same position. I think you should apologise to them for suggesting that one of them is a scallywag.
I do apologise, my lord. Members of the jury, none of you is a scallywag, still less his lordship.
Please don't be funny, Mr. Stokes. The reason I intervened was because, in a sense, you were threatening the jury. Let this man go free, you were almost saying, and see what happens to one of you.
I'm sorry, my lord. Now, members of the jury, I will tell you how the accused was finally unmasked. A courageous young woman, Miss Margaret Vane, agreed to be infiltrated into the blackmailing army in order to find out who was behind it all. Now, she is the witness on whom the prosecution mainly relies. She was discovered because it was thought at first that she was one of the gang herself. Now, she can give direct evidence of the accused's guilt. Members of the jury, I will now call the evidence. The first witness is one of the victims. With the lordship's permission, I will call him Mr. Z.
Mr. Z. Mr. Z. Are you known in this case as Mr. Z?
Yes.
Take the book in your right hand and repeat the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mr. Z, I believe you've written your name and address on a piece of paper. Please hand it to the clerk. I think you're a Lloyd's underwriter.
I am.
Are you also a church warden?
That is so.
About 9 months ago, do you remember getting into conversation with a young woman outside one of the city churches?
I do.
What took place between you?
We started talking, but before long it became quite plain that she had been following me about with the object of blackmailing me.
What was the nature of the blackmail?
She threatened to tell my wife and the vicar of the church where I am church warden that I had been out with prostitutes, unless I paid £2,000 cash and £500 a year to a society which she called the Society of Cleaner Morals.
Usher, please bring in Miss Vane.
Miss Vane.
Is that the woman you saw?
It is.
Thank you, Miss Vane. When she went away, what did you do?
Well, I intended to go to the police, but I was frightened of the consequences. I preferred to pay. I agree, my lord, that it was cowardly of me and wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Z.
You wish to cross-examine, Mr. Ledbury?
Oh, yes, please, my lord. Mr. Z, can you give the jury any guide as to how they should tell whether you are speaking the truth or not?
I don't understand.
Well, I'll spell it out for you. You have admitted that you're a coward. In addition to that, you're an adulterer, a liar, and a hypocrite, aren't you?
Well, this is mere abuse, my lord.
My lord, is it not relevant to the question whether the witness is telling the truth if he is a coward, an adulterer, a liar, and a hypocrite?
I can't rule out the question, Mr. Stokes.
There were 4 questions in one.
Oh, thank you for pointing that out, Mr. Stokes. I'll ask them one by one. Are you a coward, Mr. Z?
I was in this instance.
Are you an adulterer?
Must I answer that question, my lord?
I'm afraid so.
Then the answer is yes.
Are you a liar?
In what respect?
Have you told your wife lies about your whereabouts from time to time and about what you've been doing?
Yes.
Are you a church warden of your parish? And do you sometimes read the lessons in church?
I do.
In that respect, therefore, are you not a hypocrite?
I believe in my religion.
Does your religion teach you that thou shalt not commit adultery?
Yes.
The lesson doesn't seem to have been very satisfactorily learned in thy case.
Mr. Ledbury, if you make any further offensive comments, I shall stop your cross-examination altogether.
Yes, I'm sorry, my lord. Yes. Do you hold yourself out to your fellow parishioners as disapproving of adultery?
I've never discussed the matter.
But isn't it implied by your acting as church warden, reading the lessons, taking the collection, and so on?
I suppose it may be.
Then are you not a hypocrite?
No doubt you think I am.
I'm afraid I do. Now tell me, would you believe the word of a man who was an admitted coward, adulterer, liar, and hypocrite?
You needn't answer that question, Mr. Zed. It's for the jury to say whether they believe him or not, and the jury will judge the case on the evidence of both sides.
Tell me, Mr. Zed, have you ever seen me before?
No, except at the magistrate's court.
Have you any reason in the world to think that I had anything to do with your experiences, except that you see me in the dark?
I've been told...
You mustn't say what you've been told, Mr. Zed.
Mr. Zed, apart from what you've been told, can you think of any reason in the world why you should be called as a witness against me?
No, I can't say that I can.
Then why on earth were you called?
It's a matter for the prosecution what witnesses they call.
My lord, I called this witness for two reasons. First, to give the jury an example of how this trade was plied. And secondly, because it links up with the evidence of another witness.
No further questions? Very well then. Call your next witness, please, Mr. Stokes.
Miss Margaret Vane.
Margaret Vane. Are you Margaret Vane?
I am.
Take the book in your right hand and repeat the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Now, Miss Vane, what are you?
At the moment, I can only describe myself as a hunted woman.
I beg your pardon.
A hunted woman. 2 attempts have been made either to kidnap or murder me. A car tried to run me down and nearly killed a friend of mine. I'm under constant police protection.
Miss Vane, please confine yourself to answering the questions.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I want you and the jury to know my position.
Are you suggesting that your situation has anything to do with the accused?
Of course I am, my lord. If he can get rid of me, he's a free man.
Miss
This
Vane.
man and the people in his employ will stop at nothing.
Miss
They
Vane.
would even get at you, my lord, if they thought they would do any good.
This is most unfortunate, Mr. Stokes. Mr. Ledbury, do you now ask for a new trial before another jury?
Oh, no, thank you, my lord. No, this young woman's little outburst doesn't disturb me in the very least. Nor will it worry you or the jury when you've heard a bit more about her. I think you ought to know before you go on with the case that she used to be a professional actress.
Is that correct?
Yes, my lord, for a short time.
Well, we don't want any histrionics here, please.
Thank you, my lord. So much for the hunted woman, members of the jury.
Go on, please, Mr. Stokes.
When were you an actress, Miss Vane?
When I was 20, for 5 years. I finished about 7 years ago.
Yes. And since then?
I took a secretarial course and then I had various jobs.
Did you eventually have a post with a well-known journalist who, if your lordship permits, I shall call Mr. X?
Yes.
Should his lordship permit it? Is no one in this case going to appear under his own name except me? The so-called Miss Vane isn't Vane at all, as you'll see in a minute. Now their employer is to be known as Mr. X. We've already had Mr. Z. Does the usher wish to call himself Mr. Y?
Silence!
You won't help yourself by being facetious. It's quite normal in cases of this kind for names to be withheld. Kindly go on, Mr. Stokes.
Was it your employment with Mr. X which brought you into contact with this case?
Yes.
Mr. Stokes, why are you not calling Mr. X as a witness?
My lord, because there's no admissible evidence that he can give.
Very well.
Miss Vane, why did Mr. X employ you?
He wanted to find out who was behind all these blackmail cases, and he asked me if I would help. I said I would. He said that the man whom he suspected had a highly respectable front and that there was no evidence against him.
Did you formulate a plan of campaign?
Yes. It was necessary to get someone into the organization.
How did you proceed?
Mr. X discovered a man who was one of the gang. He sent someone to him offering him information about me. In due course, I was approached and threatened with exposure. Instead of agreeing to pay money, I offered to provide information about various people.
What people?
Well, Mr. X gave me the names.
And what happened?
I'm afraid some of them were blackmailed, including Mr. Z.
You mean they actually paid money to avoid exposure?
Yes.
Yes, I see. Go on, please, Miss Vane.
Well, I started to become very valuable to the organisation, and one day I became important enough to meet Mr. Jones. He was responsible for the collection of information.
Why didn't you go to the police about Mr. Jones?
Because Mr. X thought that if we went to the police about Mr. Jones, we would never get the real head.
Did you ever meet the accused?
Yes, once.
Will you tell the jury the circumstances?
I told Jones that I'd got something very promising against a cabinet minister. What I said was in fact quite untrue. Mr. X had invented it.
Mr. X, the journalist, had invented it?
Yes. As I hoped, Mr. Jones became very interested in this cabinet minister. Eventually it was thought important enough for me to meet the boss. I met him.
Where?
Mr. Jones took me to Hyde Park and pointed out a man. He said his name was Mr. Bennett and told me to go and speak to him. I did as I was told and went up to Mr. Bennett. It was the accused, Mr. Bennett or Mr. Ledbury, whichever you prefer.
She's lying. Silent!
When was this meeting with the accused?
On the 11th of March of this year.
Now, Miss Vane, are you sure that it was the accused?
Perfectly. I have already picked him out in an identification parade.
Now, tell us the conversation which ensued between you and him.
At first he talked about other subjects. Then he suddenly asked me if I knew this cabinet minister. I said, no, not personally. He then questioned me about the information which I had given to Mr. Jones.
What was it?
Oh, that this minister had been selling cabinet secrets to a journalist.
What did the accused say about this?
Oh, he wanted chapter and verse. With Mr. X's help, I was able to supply the details. He said he would make enough to close down. He said he was a little disturbed about all the prosecutions which were taking place. So far, no one had suspected him, but he didn't believe in riding his luck too long. He would take £100,000 off this minister and call it a day.
You say that he mentioned other cases?
Oh, yes, several. And he made it quite plain that he was the organiser of the whole business and that it was his main source of revenue.
Why did he tell you all this, Miss Vane?
I was important to him in this case of the cabinet minister, and he reckoned that I was quite safe as I was so completely involved in the other cases.
Thank you, Miss Vane.
Mr. Ledbury, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, please, I would. Now, Miss Vane. Your real name isn't Vane, is it?
Have I got to answer, my lord?
Why shouldn't you?
I've changed my name, and I'm not anxious for my family name to become known.
Why not?
Because the accused, if he gets off, or if he doesn't, his brother, could make things very unpleasant for my relatives.
When did you change your name?
When I agreed to help Mr. X.
Does her name matter, Mr. Ledbury?
I propose to show that this woman is a liar.
Well?
If she has convictions registered against her, I'm entitled to refer to them, aren't I?
Certainly.
Well, how can I tell if Miss Vane has, well, for example, been convicted of perjury if the conviction was under the name, say, of Smith?
Have you ever been convicted for perjury under any name?
Certainly not.
Have you ever been convicted of any criminal offence under any name?
Never, my lord.
Not even a parking offence?
Oh, well, yes, I have.
And what about a customs offence? Trying to get a camera through?
May I explain? My lord, I did once...
But I prefer you to answer the question. Were you not convicted for trying to get a camera through the customs undeclared?
Yes, I was.
Don't you know that that's a criminal offence?
Well, yes, I suppose I do, but
you swore to the jury, didn't you, that you'd never been convicted of any offence? That wasn't true, was it?
Not strictly, but I only tried to smuggle the camera through in order to commit a crime for which one of your gang might want to blackmail me.
Really? Well, it wasn't very bright, was it? I mean, who worries about customs offences?
Do you mean by that, Mr. Ledbury, that no one would try to blackmail a person simply because of a customs offence?
My lord, am I supposed to be cross-examining the witness, or are you cross-examining me?
You needn't answer my question. Proceed with your cross-examination.
Thank you very much, my lord. Now, Miss Vane, or Miss Smith, or whatever you'd like to be called. You mentioned my brother. What do you know about him?
We believe him to be concerned with you in this blackmail.
You've never met him?
No.
Unless, of course, it was my brother you met in the park. We look rather alike.
It was you.
But there's nothing physical about me that you can recognize, is there?
Of course there is. I recognize you.
But why shouldn't it have been my brother? You've never seen him. How could you be certain?
You are the man I met in the park.
Have I a mole behind my left ear?
Well, it didn't look.
Have I a scar on the palm of my right hand?
I've no idea.
Well, let's say I have a scar and my brother hasn't. Well, here's my hand and there's no scar on it. I'm my brother. You've got the wrong man. Can I go now, my lord?
Stop this tomfoolery, Mr. Ledbury.
It's not tomfoolery at all. I'd like the witness to look at this photograph. Can you tell which is me and which is my brother? Well?
You're on the right, I think.
Think. The prosecution has got to prove it was me she met in the park.
If you call your brother as a witness and he says it was he and not you who met Miss Vane in the park, the jury will, of course, have to consider that evidence.
Oh, really, my lord, you don't expect him to come to court and ask to be prosecuted, do you?
Miss Vane, have you any doubt that this is the man to whom you spoke?
None whatsoever, my lord.
In due course, Mr. Ledbury, you will be entitled to go into the witness box and deny it was you, if you wish.
I know my rights, thank you, my lord. All right, well, let's leave that aspect of the matter for the moment. Miss Vane, how many people altogether did you blackmail?
7 or 8, I suppose.
Have you ever been prosecuted for blackmail?
No.
But you are a persistent blackmailer.
I behaved like one for a very good reason, but I'm not one.
Didn't you realize that someone whom you were blackmailing might commit suicide in desperation?
They were told the truth and repaid the money as soon as we could.
Why not at the time?
Because unless they really believed they were being blackmailed, they might very well have given the game away.
A charming game, but you were playing with other people's lives.
You've made your point quite plainly. Kindly continue to ask questions.
You didn't hate the people you blackmailed, did you?
Certainly not.
But you blackmailed them just the same. I wonder what you do to someone you hated.
Just one moment, please.
My lord, this note has just been delivered for you. The man said it was very urgent.
Frank, go and telephone my home. See if Angela is there, and come back at once and tell me. If she isn't at home, then tell me where she is.
Very good, sir.
Go on, please, Mr. Ledbury.
Now tell me, Miss Vane, how much money have you received altogether for your part in this affair?
The newspapers paid me a fee of £5,000.
£5,000?
I was risking my life, and I still am.
So you say. Suppose I'm convicted. Will you get any more?
I was originally offered a fee of £5,000 with a promise of more if my investigations were successful.
If I was sent to prison for 20 or 30 years, presumably you'd call that a success.
5 or 10 would do.
So you want me to be convicted?
Of course.
There's nothing you'd like more.
Oh, yes, there is. I'd like to see your brother convicted, too.
Oh, come, we weren't both in the park with you.
No, but I've no doubt you're in it together. He's behind the attempts to prevent my giving evidence.
Have you proof of that?
Unfortunately not.
But you'd do anything to secure my conviction.
I'd do anything lawful.
But you've done unlawful things, too, like smuggling.
That's true.
And blackmail.
On the face of it, yes.
Then how are the jury to know where you draw the line? A little matter of perjury, for example? Wouldn't you tell a lie to get me convicted?
Just a moment, please.
No, sir. Angela's not at home. Your housekeeper thought she'd be with you. The car called for her and the chauffeur said you'd sent it.
Frank. I think this will be a convenient moment to adjourn. Members of the jury, please be in your places by 10:20 on Monday morning.
Silence in court. All persons having anything to do before my lords, the Queen's Justices, for the jurisdiction of the Central Criminal Court, may now depart hence. God save the Queen.
Are you all right, sir?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Frank. Get me a glass of water, please.
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry, Frank. I think it must have been a bit hot in the court.
But that note, sir. Look, there you are, sir.
Ah, thank you. Frank, I'm expecting a visitor, a Mr. Cartwright. Will you let them know downstairs? I want him sent up at once.
Very good, sir, but don't you think you...
Now, no buts, Frank. That's a good fellow.
Very good, sir.
If that's Cartwright, tell them to send him up.
Yes, sir. Mr. Justice Hereford's clerk. Yes. Oh, yes, very well. Would you send him up, please? Yes, it's him, sir.
Now, Frank, I want you to remain outside the door during the interview. Now, don't try to listen to what's said, but I want that...
Sir, I wouldn't dream of listening outside doors.
Well, do wait till I've finished. Of course I know you wouldn't listen, but... You might have thought something was the matter.
Well, I do.
Then keep it to yourself.
I don't like it, sir.
Nor do I, Frank. But if you really want to help me, you'll do just what I say, and will mention the matter to no one. No one.
Very good, sir. Oh, that'll be him. Mr. Cartwright?
Yes.
Mr. Cartwright, sir.
Thank you, Frank.
Right, sir.
All right if I sit down?
Where is Angela?
She's an only child, isn't she? Now, please answer my questions, although there's no point in my staying.
She is an only child.
Good. And my name's not Cartwright. You'd like to know what it is? Now, look. In that court you just left, you may be kingpin. But in this interview, I am. I'll warn you. If I have any more nonsense from you, I shall simply leave, and that will be the end of your only child. We haven't abolished the death penalty in our profession. Is that understood?
Yes.
My name is Ledbury, George Ledbury. I'm Cliff's brother.
As I imagined. What is it you want?
I'm asking the questions. Now, what does it feel like?
I'm so distressed about my daughter that I can think of nothing else. Where is she?
I told you, I'm asking the questions.
It's only natural that I should want to know.
Well, if I wouldn't mind disposing of the little girl herself, why should I worry about your feelings?
I suppose you wouldn't.
By the way, should I call you Judge or what?
I don't mind what you call me.
Now, kindly answer the question.
Well, if you came on official business, you'd call me my lord. If you came as a stranger about something else, I suppose you'd call me Sir James. My name is James Hereford.
Yes, I'd got as far as that. Good. Well, I'll call you my lord. You'd call anything to do with a case official business, wouldn't you?
In the normal way, yes.
Although this is hardly the normal way, I've come to see you about my brother's case, my lord. You'll be glad to hear that your little girl is alive and well and happy. Would you like to speak to her?
Very much.
All right, you shall. Now, let's think what you're going to say. You're joining some friends in a flat in London, a Mr. and Mrs. Barnes. She's to stay with them until you come. Now, that'll do. Get me an outside line. She should be there by now.
Yeah.
Turn round while I dial the number, eh? Now, if you're sensible, your little girl will come to no harm. But if you bring the police into it, you'll never see her again.
I meant what I said in that note.
I believe that.
Good. No, it's me. Put her on. Now, there's no need to alarm her. Here she is. Only a minute and no nonsense. Now, you want to know the vital question. What to do in order to get your little girl back, don't you?
I do.
We don't want money.
I'll pay you all I have.
I believe you would. You're a widower, aren't you? And your little girl means everything to you, doesn't she?
That's true.
Well, all you've got to do is to see that Cliff's acquitted.
How do you expect me to do that?
I don't care how you do it, but if I don't get clean away from here, or if Cliff is convicted, you will lose your little girl.
And if he's acquitted?
Your little girl will be returned to you inside 10 minutes.
If I give in, it'll be known that even judges yield to threats. So other parents may lose their children.
What? You let your little girl die for all that hokum?
All that hokum, as you call it, is one of the few things this country has left. A trust in its judges. I've only got to lift that receiver and you'd get 20 years.
You've only got to lift that receiver and your little girl dies. Like that. I'm not going to have my brother put away for 20 or 30 years. That's what you'd give him, isn't it?
He'd certainly get a long sentence.
Do you think he'll be convicted?
Is he guilty?
What's that got to do with it? What you've got to do is to get him off.
I don't believe your brother's made a good impression on the jury. If he doesn't do better when he's giving evidence, however I direct them, the jury may very well convict him.
Well, can't you get them to stop the case before Cliff has to give evidence?
Only if there's no evidence against him. But here there is evidence.
Well, what's the chief evidence against him? It's the girl, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, smash her to pieces.
How?
Well, that's up to you. But you've got to do it so that it looks genuine. You've got to act the part, all right. You've got to act as you've never acted before. Otherwise, if people thought you were offering your rocker, they might interfere before the trial was over.
Whatever I did, I still can't guarantee the result.
Well, I can guarantee the result if you don't succeed. Now, if the jury don't believe that girl, Cliff's away, isn't he?
I should think so.
If she refuses to answer a question, you can tell the jury that she's not a reliable witness, can't you?
It depends on the question.
But the witness has got to answer if you order her to, hasn't she?
Yes, if I order her to.
And if she refuses, you can tell the jury to disregard her evidence.
What is the question?
When you asked her if she's ever been employed by this man, she'll refuse to answer. And the rest is up to you.
But there must be a point to a question. The mere fact that she was or was not employed by someone may not be material.
Don't make things so difficult for yourself. I've given you a way out. Now, you ask the question. She'll refuse to answer. Members of the jury, you'll say. Can you really be satisfied of the prisoner's guilt on the word of a witness who refuses to answer a perfectly simple question without giving any good reason? But you can do that sort of thing much better than I can. And you will, won't you, my lord? Good afternoon. So good of you to see me, my lord.
You must tell me what's wrong, sir. Look, sir, if you don't tell me, I shall simply have to go to the police.
You're not too frank.
But I can't see you like this and just do nothing.
Are they worried in the office?
I don't think so, sir.
Good.
But I am, sir.
Frank, if I tell you why you can't go to the police, will you promise not to?
Of course, sir.
If you did go, Angela would be murdered.
What?
She's been kidnapped. And if the police were informed, or if Ledbury isn't acquitted, they'll kill her.
Bastards. I was afraid of something like that. What did you tell them?
I just played for time.
Can you get him off, sir?
Probably I could. He's given me a question to ask the girl, but she says she won't answer. But if I do get him off, it'll never stop.
Yes, it will, sir. They won't want any more from you.
No, I didn't mean that. Blackmail, kidnapping, hijacking. It'll never stop until someone makes a stand.
So, you want to be a martyr?
Well, of course I don't. But if I give in, what is there to stop any criminal's friends kidnapping half a dozen children who are playing in the street and threatening to kill them if the prisoner isn't acquitted?
Well, I say you're not entitled to kill your own daughter. Let him go, sir. He'll probably be caught for something else later on.
And who will they kidnap then?
You've got to think of yourself this time, sir.
I'd like to, Frank.
Think of Angela, too. You say he's given you a question to ask the chief witness. Well, ask it, sir.
I just don't know what to do.
Why not ask one of your friends, sir?
It's got to be my decision.
Well, decide what you like, sir, but ask that question and get Ledbury off.
Leonard James Goldwater. Yeah. Sissy Margaret Jones.
Here.
George Andrew Robinson.
Here.
Be upstanding in court. All persons having anything to do before my lords, the Queen's justices, draw near and give your attendance. God save the Queen.
My lord, I want to make a complaint.
What is it?
Well, Superintendent Brookside has refused to let me see my brother.
Your brother? When?
When he came here on Friday afternoon.
Mr. Stokes, will you ask the superintendent to come into the witness box?
Very good, my lord. Fetch Superintendent Brookside, please, Usher.
He's the officer in charge of the case?
Yes, my lord.
And why is he not in the court?
He's a witness of fact, my lord.
Ah, yes, of course.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Superintendent, the accused complains that you wouldn't allow him to see his brother here on Friday. Is that correct?
Not entirely, my lord.
What happened?
A man who said he was the brother of the accused came here and asked if he could see him. I said yes, on condition he allowed himself to be searched before and after the visit. He refused, so I said he must apply to see the accused in prison.
Do you want to ask the officer any questions?
Only one. Superintendent, can you tell the difference between me and my brother?
Of course.
When my brother saw me at Brixton, he said that you
saw him at Brixton? And what on earth are you complaining about?
My brother's a very busy man. It was most inconvenient for him to come to Brixton.
Don't let us waste any more time.
I hope your lordship isn't going to run the case against me just because you think I've made a frivolous complaint. On Friday, you offered me a new trial before a fresh judge and jury. I think I'd like to accept your offer now.
It's too late. Now?
Oh, well. I shall have to make do with what there is.
Behave yourself.
Suppose I don't.
If you don't behave yourself, I shall deal with you for contempt of court.
Would that be wise?
What did you say?
Nothing, my lord.
My lord, as the superintendent is in the witness box, I wonder if his evidence could be heard straight away. It's rather inconvenient having him out of court. Unless, of course, the accused objects. Do you object, Mr. Ledbury?
I don't mind in the least. He's no more likely to tell the truth this afternoon than he is this morning.
Proceed, Mr. Stokes, please.
Superintendent, you were the officer in charge of the inquiries in this case. Did you, in consequence, pay a visit to the accused in his home in Knightsbridge?
Now, isn't that what they call a leading question, my lord? It tells the witness that he saw me. It might have been my brother.
Well, Superintendent, was it the accused or his brother that you saw?
It was the accused.
When did you first see him?
At about 11 a.m. on the 23rd of April.
What took place between you?
After I'd satisfied myself as to his identity, I told him that I was making inquiries about a number of cases of blackmail, and I thought he could give me some information about them.
What did he say?
He said, I've nothing whatever to do with any of this, but if you ask me, it's a good thing to show some of these people up. Dissolute church wardens, for instance.
Now, Superintendent, did you at any time mention a dissolute church warden to him?
No. When he said that, I asked him how he knew a church warden had been blackmailed. He said he must have read it in the paper. I said that it hadn't been in the paper. He then said it must have been gossip. Shortly afterwards, I left.
Mr. Stokes, I imagine that you're going to rely on the evidence of the accused mentioning the churchwarden.
Very much so, my lord.
Surely he should have been cautioned first.
It's a borderline case, my lord, and in my submission, it's within your lordship's discretion to admit the superintendent's evidence.
Or to refuse to admit it. I ask you to refuse.
I ask you to admit it.
You're a judge, my lord. You hold the scales of justice. Don't tilt them against me. If they should be tilted at all, they should be tilted in my favour. That's the law of England. Better 100 guilty men acquitted than one innocent man convicted.
That may be what a lot of people think, and it may be right. But it is not the law of England. The law simply says that no one shall be convicted of a crime unless the case is proved against him. No more, no less. I shall admit the evidence.
Is that a wise decision, my lord?
Don't be impertinent. If you disagree with it and are convicted, you can appeal.
It might be too late, then.
What exactly do you mean by that?
Nothing.
You wish to ask the superintendent any questions, Mr. Ledbury?
Yes, please. Superintendent, isn't it a very old trick to say that a suspected person has mentioned something which he couldn't have known unless he's been concerned in a crime? A man is charged, say, with murdering a woman. None of the papers have said how she was killed, and the accused, when questioned, says, "I never strangled her." How did he know she was strangled?
Yes, that happened.
But, of course, if a police officer has very conveniently told the accused that the woman was strangled, his answer would be quite normal, wouldn't it, Superintendent?
Yes, I suppose so.
Well, that's what happened in this case, isn't it?
I don't understand.
Of course you understand. You mentioned the churchwarden to me first. It was only after that I said it was a good thing to show up dissolute churchwardens.
Did you mention the churchwarden first, Superintendent?
Certainly not, my lord.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Of course he says that now. Now he's got the point.
Have you any further questions to ask?
Well, it doesn't seem much use. Everyone's against me. I don't suppose I shall ever see my family again. My wife. Poor little daughter. If you send me away for 30 years... she's as good as dead to me.
Mr. Ledbury, you're an intelligent man. You know perfectly well that this case is not over, and you are presumed innocent until found guilty. And you have not been found guilty. So kindly stop talking nonsense, and let's get on with the trial.
Very well, my lord, but it's not nonsense.
I've no re-examination, my lord. I'll recall Miss Vane.
Miss Vane, you're still on oath, remember?
Yes, my lord.
Does it make any difference?
Of course it does.
Do you mean that?
Certainly.
Well, let's see. Would you tell lies to the police to harm me?
No.
Quite sure?
Quite sure.
What you said in court on Friday is roughly what you told the police.
It was part of what I told the police.
And you say that what you told the police was true?
Yes.
Will you kindly tell me then what difference the oath made to you?
How do you mean?
Well, you say it made a difference. But if you equally tell the truth whether you're on oath or not, it makes no difference at all, does it?
I see what you mean.
Did the oath make any difference?
If you put it like that, I suppose not.
But you swore that it did.
Well, what do you expect me to say to that?
I expect you to tell the truth this time and say that the oath made no difference.
Well, I suppose it didn't.
Then why did you swear it did?
I don't really know.
Don't you? Wasn't it because you felt you ought to say that the oath made a difference?
I suppose it was.
Yet you gave me the same answer on oath twice.
You've made your point, Mr. Ledbury. Would you go on to the next one, please?
May I not conduct my case in my own way, my lord? The outcome of this trial is very important to me.
It's very important to everyone.
Yes, well, I should have said everyone.
What is your next question?
Well, just a moment, please, my lord.
Miss Vane, while the accused is thinking of his next question, I wonder if you would answer one of mine.
Certainly, my lord.
Perhaps you would tell me...
My lord, forgive my intervention, but would it be convenient at this stage...
Mr. Stokes, his lordship wants to ask a question.
Thank you, Mr. Ledbury. I'm quite capable of looking after myself. I've decided not to ask the question. What did you want to say, Mr. Stokes?
My lord, I have an application to make on behalf of the prosecution that we should be allowed to call an additional witness.
Ah, yes, I've seen about that. We'll deal with that later.
As your lordship pleases.
Go on, Mr. Ledbury.
Very well, Miss Vane. Take the case of Mr. Z. What was this Institute for Cleaner Morals?
It was you.
But there's no evidence that I've ever received a penny from anyone. You admit that you did get money from people.
Only to find out who you were. And when you say that there's no evidence that you had any money, you admitted it to me.
Our talk in the park, you mean?
Exactly.
Well, let's deal with this talk in the park. Had you been to the police before?
No.
Why not?
Mr. X thought we ought to get the evidence first and then go to the police.
Did Mr. X know me by sight?
Well, yes, he did.
Exactly. I suggest to you that you invented this interview and picked me out because Mr. X pointed me out to you previously.
Mr. X knew the accused by sight?
Yes, but it wasn't he who pointed out the accused to me. It was Mr. Jones.
No, well, we've only got your word for that. I suggest to you that you were the brains behind this blackmail racket. And when the pace got too hot for you, you had to put the blame on someone, so you tried me.
Why on earth should I try to fix the blame on you if you were completely innocent?
Yes, why should she?
Are you leading to the prosecution, my lord, or sitting impartially to do what is right without fear or favour, affection or ill will? That's how it goes, isn't it?
Mr. Ledbury, I regret that I must take the unusual course of dealing with you here and now for contempt of court. I fine you £100.
That's a foolish thing to do, my lord.
I fine you a further £200.
Well, it's going to prove an expensive case, my lord.
Have you much more to ask this witness?
Well, that depends on her answers, my lord. If she admits she has been telling a pack of lies, I shouldn't ask her any further questions. Yeah, what's that juryman doing?
What on earth do you mean?
Well, he passed a note to the next one.
Why shouldn't he?
Well, how do we know it's about the case? It might be about the 2:30 at Newbury.
Mr. Foreman, was a note passed round the jury?
Yes, my lord.
Was it about the case?
Certainly, my lord.
Perhaps they want to stop the trial.
Do you want to stop the case, Mr. Foreman?
My lord, with the greatest respect, I do object to your asking that question at this stage. Not only is there the matter of my application to call an additional witness, but this witness is still being cross-examined, and I have the right to re-examine.
Do you wish to do so?
With the greatest respect, my lord, I am not bound to answer that question.
Why shouldn't you?
Now, really, Mr. Ledbury,
My lord, I'm not
any objection to my class. Yes, Mr. Foreman. What is it you want to say?
If it will be any help to you, my lord, the jury has no intention whatsoever of stopping the trial. It seems to us that there is a strong case for the accused to answer.
I see.
It's disgraceful the way you're running the case against me. There's no justice in this country for the man in the dock.
I sincerely hope there is. For you and everyone else.
3 cheers.
I shall fine you a further £500.
Will you take a cheque?
You will be given 7 days to pay £1,000. Now, please continue your cross-examination.
Well, I've forgotten where I was now.
Take your time.
Thank you. Oh, I believe your lordship was wanting to ask a question. Perhaps you'd like to do so while I'm thinking.
Miss Vane, there is a question I would like to ask you. I'd like to know if you were ever employed by this man. Usher, take this to her, please. Well? Miss Vane, were you ever employed by that man?
I'm sorry, but I'm not prepared to answer any questions whatever on this subject.
Why not?
My lord, I can only say that I am not prepared to answer any such questions.
Mr. Stokes, perhaps you would point out to the witness the seriousness of her situation.
Certainly, my lord. Mr. Grant from the director's office will have a word with her outside the court.
Miss Vane, please leave the witness box and go and have a word with the gentleman sitting in front of Mr. Stokes. You had better go out in the corridor and do so.
Perhaps you would now deal with my application to call an additional witness.
Is it fair to the accused to put extra evidence in at this stage?
It's in the interests of justice, my lord.
It's very unfortunate that you didn't have the evidence before.
It is, my lord, but that's no fault of the prosecution. The witness was unknown to us. He read a report of the trial in the Sunday papers and came in this morning. Justice requires that all the evidence available should be put before the jury.
You keep on talking about justice as though I were unaware of it.
Sorry, my lord, I did not intend to convey that impression.
The interests of the accused have to be considered. That's part of justice, too.
Well, of course, my lord, but so are the interests of the public. My lord, this is a terrible case.
Please don't make speeches to the jury, Mr. Stokes. Mr. Ledbury, what do you say about this application?
Well, I ask you to refuse to entertain it, my lord.
Mr. Stokes?
Only that justice requires...
You said that 100 times.
3, to be accurate, my lord. It is the main ground of my application. Justice.
I shall admit the evidence. Call the witness.
Call Mr. Morgan, please.
Call Mr. Morgan, officer.
Mr. Morgan? Mr. Morgan?
My lord, I think the jury should know that Mr. Morgan read about this prosecution and called in at Scotland Yard this morning.
Come along, please. Please don't waste time. Do come along into the witness box.
Oh, I'm sorry, my lord. I've only got one leg.
Oh, forgive me. You walk remarkably well.
Oh, too slowly, I'm afraid, my lord.
I apologize. Would you prefer to sit down?
No. Thank you, my lord. It's nothing. I'm quite used to it. I lost it a good many years ago in the Korean War.
The Korean War?
Yes, my lord. I was an air gunner.
Well, I'm glad you managed so well.
Thank you, my lord. Oh, it's amazing what one can do without, if necessary.
Quite so.
And my wife left me soon after I lost my leg.
Dear me.
She ran away with a man with 2 legs. However, I found another wife with 2 legs too. Jolly good ones too, if I may say so.
Has the witness been sworn?
Not yet, my lord.
Take the book in your right hand. Repeat the words on the card.
Oh, well, no, I'll have to get out my glasses. I can never find the blooming things. I'm sorry to keep them, my lord. I know I've got them with me. Ah, yes. Now, here they are. Oh, damn, these are the other ones. I did try bifocals, my lord. I could never get on with them. Oh, I see you've got a pair, my lord. Now, how do you find them?
Mr. Morgan, kindly find your glasses and take the oath.
Yes. Here they are. Now, I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's asking a lot, my lord.
Mr. Morgan, you must not talk like that.
But suppose I don't know the truth, my lord.
You must do your best.
Oh, so that's all it means, is it? To do my best?
Of course.
Well, then why doesn't it say so?
Mr. Stokes, will you kindly start your examination?
Is your name William Morgan, and do you live at Mineth Back Farm, Upper Courtroom, C-W-M-M-T?
Oh, it's quite simple, sir. Mineth Back Farm, Upper Courtroom.
Yes. And are you a farmer?
Well, only in a small way.
Quite, but do you farm?
Not like my father.
Have you a farm?
Yes, I have a farm.
Right, let's get on.
Have you found that there are a lot of official forms to be filled in?
I sometimes wonder if I got more paper on my farm than poultry.
But you did fill in forms?
Oh, now and then, yes.
And did you read the forms before you filled them in?
Very rarely.
Did there come a time when proceedings were taken against you for making a false return?
There come several times.
And what happened?
I was fined. I refused to pay and went to prison. And a good experience, as a matter of fact. Everybody ought to do it. Well, perhaps not everybody, my lord.
Are we coming to something relevant?
Yes, soon as I can, my lord. Mr. Morgan, did you meet anyone in prison?
Oh, a lot of people.
Anyone in particular?
The governor, you mean, is it?
I do not. Did you meet a man called Wickham?
Ah, well, that's why I'm here now. I saw his name was mentioned in court.
It wasn't, you know.
I could have sworn it was.
Well, it wasn't.
Lucky I didn't swear then.
Some time or other, Mr. Stokes, may the jury and I know...
I'm so sorry, my lord. Well, Mr. Morgan, what did this man Wickham say to you in prison?
Well, he asked me if any of my friends had ever cheated at cards.
And you said?
Of course.
Was that true?
Good gracious, no. But he took me seriously.
What did he say?
And he said that If I could give him the names of one or two I'd seen cheating, he'd help me to make what he called an honest penny.
What did you say?
I said, how can you do that, boy? Quite simple, he said. The sort of people you mix with, he said, belong to clubs and chapel and all that, and they wouldn't want a scandal. So, they pay to avoid it.
Well?
I decided to set a trap for this Whitcomb when I come out, and I got a couple of friends, and we laid it all on. Now, one of them wrote a letter to the other, pretending to apologize for cheating. I took this to my prison friend, and he was delighted. I said he would introduce us to someone higher up on the scale. And he did. To a man called Jones.
Albert Jones?
Yes. Albert Jones. And Jones was very impressed when he heard of the people I mixed with. I'm afraid I laid it on a bit thick. Oh, the things my friends did. Cheating their revenue, swapping their wives, bilking their railways. Oh, he was a fine lot, I can tell you, by the time I finished with us. Eventually, Jones said he'd like me to meet his boss, and we made an appointment, and I met him.
Did you talk to the boss?
Oh, indeed, yes. He knew all about it. He was thick in it. He particularly liked income tax cases, false returns and all that, because most people who cheated the Inland Revenue had lots of money. That's one of the reasons they had it. And this chap reckoned that the Inland Revenue were bigger thieves than us, so the money was better in our hands.
Would you recognize this man again?
I think so.
Now, Mr. Morgan, this is of the utmost importance. Do you see him in court?
Where?
Anywhere. Look all round.
You may leave the witness box if you like.
Oh, that's very kind of you, my lord.
You may disregard the jury.
Oh. That's him, my lord.
You mean the man in the dock?
Yes, my lord.
Very well, then you may return to the witness box. Are you sure that's the man?
Yes, my lord. That's him.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Do you wish to cross-examine Mr. Ledbury?
Yes, please, my lord. Now, Mr. Morgan, haven't you made a mistake?
A mistake?
Yes, a mistake. I do know of a man who is a little like me, and who, from my investigations, might well be the man who you met through your friend Wickham. I'm going to suggest to you that it was him you saw, and not me. After all, you had to come over here to look at me, didn't you?
Well, that's true.
Now, let me see if I can help you, Mr. Morgan. My face is smooth, isn't it, like yours?
Smooth? I don't understand.
Hadn't the man you saw got a nasty scar across his face as though he'd been slashed?
Slashed?
Yes. Slashed. With a razor. My face is untouched, isn't it? Come and have a look if you can't see from there. I'm sure his lordship would allow it.
No. I can see from by here.
What can you see, Mr. Morgan?
Oh, your face.
And you can see it hasn't been slashed. I repeat, it's as smooth as your own is. Now, are you sure you haven't made a mistake, Mr. Morgan? Hadn't the man you spoke to got a big scar on his face?
Yes, I think he had.
Think a bit harder, Mr. Morgan. Aren't you sure he had a scar? A nasty, big scar? Not a thing you'd be likely to forget?
Yes, he had a scar.
A big scar?
Yes, big scar.
Then it can't have been me you saw, can it, Mr. Morgan?
No, I suppose not.
Suppose? I thought you were sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
Sure that it wasn't me?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Mr. Morgan, it's quite plain that Mr. Ledbury has no scar. How did you come to identify him at first?
Well, I made a mistake. May I go now, please?
My lord, may I treat Mr. Morgan as a hostile witness and cross-examine him?
I don't think he's hostile. No, Mr. Stokes. Very well, you may go now, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, Mr. Stokes, I hope Miss Vane is ready.
She's just coming, my lord. Go back into the witness box, please, Miss Vane.
Well, Miss Vane, what is the answer to my question? Were you employed by this man? Do you still absolutely refuse to answer?
Yes, my lord.
My lord, might I with respect know the relevance of the question?
Isn't it enough for you, Mr. Stokes, that I have asked the question and that she has refused to answer it and given no reason?
With respect, my lord, a witness should not be compelled to answer a question unless the question is material to the guilt or innocence of the accused.
How could you tell whether it is material?
Of course I can't unless your lordship instructs me, but as your lordship knows, the prosecution cannot appeal, and there must be justice for the prosecution as well as the defence.
There you go again, justice.
I hope I don't have to apologise for using that word in this court, my lord.
Mr. Stokes, I hope you never have a decision of this kind to make.
My lord, I'm sure your lordship has had far more difficult matters to decide than this.
Are you? Miss Vane, for the last time, do you positively refuse to answer my question?
I do, my lord.
Well, Mr. Stokes, can you carry the matter any further? Can you proceed with the case?
Certainly, my lord.
Have you any other evidence?
No, my lord.
So you are closing the case for the prosecution?
Subject to any further questioning of this witness.
Have you any further questions, Mr. Ledbury?
No, my lord.
Have you, Mr. Stokes?
Miss Vane, have you any doubt that it was the accused with whom you discussed the blackmail cases in the park?
That is a leading question, Mr. Stokes.
She has already answered it,
Then
my
there is
lord.
no need to ask her again. What you're seeking to do is to add emphasis to her previous answers, but the emphasis comes from you and not from her.
I'm sorry, my lord.
Miss Vane, I shall consider your position later. You may stand down now. Well now, Mr. Stokes, would you ask the jury to convict on this evidence?
There is evidence to go before them.
Of course there is evidence, but the vital witness has refused to answer a perfectly simple question and has given no reason for her refusal. How can the jury rely on such a witness?
That is a matter for them when they have heard the whole case.
They may think they have heard enough already.
Might I address the jury, my lord?
Not unless they want the case to proceed. Members of the jury, do you wish to hear any more? If you want to discuss the matter, pray do so. Are you agreed about the matter, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, my lord.
Put the question, Mr. Clark, please.
Members of the jury, are you agreed upon your verdict?
We are.
Do you find the prisoner Clifton Ledbury not guilty?
We do.
Not guilty. And that is the verdict of you all?
Yes, my lord. Not guilty.
Silence. Very well, then. Thank you for your help, members of the jury. I shall rise now.
Be upstanding in court.
What on earth came over him? That is the most astonishing performance I've ever seen.
Is that what you call justice?
Mind how you cross the road, my dear. Well, it's nice to be out of the dock. No hard feelings, Superintendent?
None at all. Oh, Constable, would you fetch Mr. Ledbury his hat and coat? They're downstairs.
Yes, sir.
I must say, I admired the way you conducted your own case.
It was almost worth standing in the dock to get the better of a judge in the end.
You had the old boy eating out of your hand at the finish.
I thought he was going to turn awkward once or twice.
Funny the way he couldn't make up his mind. That's not like him.
No, I wouldn't know.
It was as though there was some sort of outside pressure on him.
Huh? Well, he was just like a flipping judge to me.
I wonder why that girl wouldn't answer that one question. You don't know, do you?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Well, tell me.
What will you tell me in return?
What do you want to know?
I'd quite like to know who cracked first, Jones or Nottingham.
It was Jones. But does it matter? They're both dead and you know it.
What are you suggesting?
Oh, I'm not suggesting anything. Jones and Nottingham are dead and you know it.
I don't know anything of the sort.
You do, because I've just told you. Now, why wouldn't Margaret Vane answer that question?
I believe the girl was in the Secret Service. And the name the old man wrote down was one which she could never admit to knowing.
But how could the judge have known it? Where did he get it from?
I wouldn't know, would I? I've been in prison all the time.
Ah, of course. Well, Mr. Ledbury, I've enjoyed our little chat. One doesn't often get a chance like this.
True enough, you're almost human. I must say you've taken it very well. Doesn't it interfere with your promotion to lose a case like this?
No, one can only do one's best. After all, I couldn't tell the judge what to do, and if he told the jury to acquit, it's not my fault.
But shouldn't you have known about that girl being in the Secret Service? After all, she was your witness.
Perhaps. It would account for her squeezing herself into your organisation. A pretty dangerous job.
You shouldn't say my organisation, Superintendent. I've been acquitted.
Sorry, it was a slip. Ah, here's your coat.
Oh, thank you, Carl. That's all right, sir. Excuse me, sir. Could I have a word with you?
Forgive me a moment, Mr. Ledbury.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, officer. Sorry about that.
Next job?
It wasn't, as a matter of fact, winding up the present one.
You'll have to make your report in triplicate, I suppose.
Something like that.
Well, I really must be going.
Your friends certainly keep their word.
What's that?
She's back.
Who's back?
Somebody's daughter.
Well, every woman's that. Do you mean Margaret Vane?
I mean Angela Hereford.
Who's she?
The judge's daughter.
Oh, so he has a daughter. Oh, why should that interest me?
She was kidnapped.
Oh, no. Well, that's terrible.
They promised her back as soon as you had been acquitted.
Oh, so that's why you said we keep our word.
I didn't say you. I said your friends kept their word. If you're in it too, I'll be happy to give you the credit as well.
I don't know anything about it.
Why did you say we keep our word then?
Goodbye, Superintendent.
Please don't go yet.
I'm sorry, I must.
Then I must put it more forcibly. You're not to go.
You can't hold me.
Oh, yes, I can.
Oh, well, see about that. Now, get out of my way, please.
I'm afraid not, sir.
What is this? Are you charging me with something else just because I made a silly slip and said we keep our word?
That wasn't enough.
Well, let me go then.
I'm afraid not.
Well, what are you holding me for then?
Your trial.
For what?
Didn't you listen? Conspiracy to blackmail.
Well, didn't you listen? I've been acquitted. Weren't you in court when the jury gave their verdict?
No, I wasn't.
Well, ask somebody who... No, just a minute. I saw you sitting there.
Quite right.
But you just said you weren't in court when the jury gave their verdict.
Right again. I wasn't.
Look, I'm not finding this very funny.
It's not meant to be funny.
Well, what are you holding me for?
I told you. Your trial.
It's over. Didn't you hear the jury say not guilty?
No.
Well, I can't help it if you're deaf.
I heard everything that was said.
Well, I'll warn you. I'll sue you for... Oh, thank God, my lord, you've come back. No, he won't let me go. Will you please order him to do so?
I'm afraid not.
But once a man's been acquitted, he's free forever, isn't he? That's the law, isn't it?
Yes, it's the law. But you haven't been acquitted.
But I have, my lord. The foreman said not guilty.
The foreman wasn't in court. The man who said not guilty was a policeman. He was substituted for the foreman.
Substituted? Rubbish. It was the same man.
He looked the same because the superintendent chose someone of the same general appearance as the foreman, and he wore the foreman's clothes. Don't forget, you'd only seen the jury for 3/4 of an hour on Friday.
How do I know you're not bluffing?
Bring them in, Superintendent.
Very good, Lord.
If this is true, it's monstrous.
Not as monstrous as killing a little girl would have been.
This is the real foreman, my lord, Mr. Robinson.
Are you Mr. Robinson?
Yes, my lord.
Now the other.
This is Constable Hughes, my lord.
Are you Constable Hughes?
Yes, my lord.
Take a good look at him, Mr. Ledbury. This is the man who said not guilty.
It's a fraud.
I suppose it is in a way. But neither the Lord Chancellor nor the Attorney General, with whom I discussed the matter over the weekend, could think of any alternative. One thing we all felt quite sure of was that you wouldn't notice the substitution of one man in the jury. Nobody would. Thank you, gentlemen. You needn't wait.
But the people in that box said I was not guilty, and once that's done, I'm free.
The only people who could lawfully pronounce you not guilty were the 12 jurymen who were sworn to try you.
Yes, but... Well, we have majority verdicts now. It was 11-1.
It was nothing of the sort. To give a valid verdict, it must be the verdict, whether unanimous or by a majority, of the whole jury. And one of them wasn't there. From 10:30 this morning, your trial became a mock trial, Mr. Ledbury.
Then you were just play-acting. The jury were, too.
11 of the jury, and 1 policeman, yes. Your brother warned me that it ought to appear genuine. He told me to act as I had never acted before. We did our best, didn't we, Superintendent?
We did indeed, my lord.
Well, you won't get away with this. I shall appeal.
Mr. Ledbury, you can't appeal until you have been tried and convicted. You will now remain in custody until the publicity of the case is blown over. You will then be tried by a fresh jury before a fresh judge. While you are on remand in prison, you might think of this. My daughter had to be saved, and you had to have a fair trial. Can you think of a better solution?
In No Fear or Favour by Henry Cecil, Mr. Justice Hereford was played by Paul Daneman, Clifton and George Ledbury by Peter Sallis, Margaret Vane by Sarah Bedell, and Mr. Stokes by Peter Howell. Superintendent Brookside was Peter Williams, Frank Baines and the Lord Chancellor, Timothy Bateson, Henry Slaughter, Hector Ross, John Hardcastle, Michael Shannon, Inspector Drew and William Morgan, Manning Wilson, and the Clerk of the Court, Anthony Higginson. Other parts were played by Michael Burlington, Michael Cochrane, and members of the cast. The play was produced by Harry Catlin.